Well, it's September and it's Hunger Action Month. And what better place to learn about issues related to food and hunger and what we can do in our communities than the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. We're here at its main warehouse offices just outside the city limits. And I have to say right away, what an impressive building. How long have you been located here?
A little over 20 years we've been here. We've expanded several times as the need increased. So we're now about 75,000 square feet.
And you obviously service more than just the city of Harrisburg. It's the whole region, and you're conveniently located right off 83 and near the junction with 81.
We're in a good spot here. We're fortunate. The highway complex is here. It's where we need to be to gather food and then distribute it to all of our community organizations.
Yeah, this is a great location. So let's start with Hunger Action Month. Why is it important, and what are we doing?
We're trying to raise awareness each September, and this year more than ever, because even though it seems like the economy is recovering some, we're still at record high levels of need. So we want the public to know that we need their help, and the best way to do that is to have big celebrations all month long and invite people here to help.
Yes, and orange is the color of the food bank and of Hunger Action Month. We've got our wristbands
here.
And looking, yeah.
All of this going on, all this wonderful orange. My team has done a great job decorating right through our building, and also built this wonderful construction here.
That's a construction, and if you look really closely at it and get the right camera angle, you can see that it spells food. And I checked, all those cans are full and ready to be donated. Real. How many cans of food do you think we have in this warehouse?
I don't know. Anybody have a guess? Hundreds.
A lot. We're going to say, well, hundreds, I think, alone in the construction. Also, I see that you have a campaign with school children to decorate plates. You want to talk about that a little bit?
We have them right up on the wall over here. In our warehouse, under 12 kids can't participate because of for safety reasons, but we get them involved writing up plates to how to fight hunger, give us their thoughts, and you can see the creativity. And we have hundreds of these plates, and they're all very creative. These are some of our favorites.
We need them. Food banks. Thank you, Food Bank, for helping out.
Real Earth protector here going on there. And just Give. Love the one on the bottom, the rainbow-colored Give. Just wonderful. Kids really are trying to help, too. It's amazing how children really want to jump in and help their neighbors.
Okay, so let's talk about Harrisburg specifically a little bit. How much outreach is done by the food bank, and how much more is needed?
Harrisburg actually has our largest concentration of community partners. So we work with pantries, soup kitchens, shelters. We provide food and a lot of education and other services, and those organizations help people in need. So you might think of Bethesda Mission, Downtown Daily Bread, and many pantries. So we have over 150 in the Harrisburg region alone of our over 900 partners in 27 counties. So a lot are right here in the Harrisburg area.
150 partners distributing food from the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank right in the city alone.
Well, in the greater Harrisburg area, and probably half of those are in the actual city limits.
And let's talk logistically. So do those organizations, are they able to come to the warehouse and pick out what they want, or is it a different system?
It's actually both. So many of our member agencies, particularly ones that are far away, do not have a truck and volunteers or employees to drive. So we actually deliver to about 2/3 of our partners. Here in the Harrisburg region, most of our partners can actually come here to the warehouse. So they order their food ahead of time. We have computer systems, online entry, just like you might expect from a commercial business. And they can come here to pick up their order, and then we'll show you out here how they can actually add on with some of the latest food that comes in. We are inspected every single year by a third-party service, best practices, and we're proud to show off our sign right here for 2016. This is the third year in a row that's been part of the required regimen in our Feeding America network. That's our network of food banks that we belong to. And we're really proud to show off top scores for food safety and all other parts of running this operation.
So we're back here at the warehouse, and I'm immediately struck by the fact that it's so clean and impressive. It looks like a Costco or a Sam's Club. I wasn't expecting this level of organization.
Well, thank you, Mayo. First of all, when we end each day, we're clean like this. So we didn't just do that for today. That's what we do every single day. And that's part of our work. We have to keep very, very clean. What we have going on over here is actually where our volunteers work. We have volunteers morning, afternoons, and evenings every single day, and then also Saturday mornings. And we actually get about 5,000 volunteers a year now at the food bank between our main facility here in Harrisburg, and then we have a second facility, a smaller one in Williamsport. And that's over 35,000 hours of service just here in our warehouses. And our network of partners is primarily volunteer-based, so multiples of that 35,000 hours.
So the volunteers will be literally working with pick lists and preparing the orders for...
Actually, that type of picking and heavy-duty work is done by our staff. We have about 87 employees between the two facilities, but volunteers help us pack the boxes, sort the food, pack the produce, get it ready, and then the real heavy-duty equipment and all of that is done by our staff.
Got it. So the order will be gathered together, and then they'll prepare it in boxes, the volunteers will, and then it'll go out.
Right. And we need that volunteer help because that's like adding a third of our workforce on top of those that we have on staff.
That's great. And if people want to volunteer, what should they do?
We have a great volunteer application on our website. They can go right to our website and click on the volunteer tab, and it actually shows them calendars. They can sign up electronically, and there's also contact information for our volunteer manager if they want to talk by phone.
Okay. Well, before we walk around, I'm also struck right away by these beautiful photographs on the wall. It's inspiring and very bright. Can you tell me what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, we're showing our volunteers as they work packing the food that this is really about people. Around the food bank, we kind of get caught up in the millions of pounds of food that we handle, but it's really about people in need. And all of these photographs are from out in our network, people that are being served this wonderful food that we work with every day. And we want our volunteers to see that, and we want them to see our commitment to our mission statement, which is fighting hunger, improving lives, strengthening communities. Even I can remember those 6 words. So that's our mission statement.
They're very well said. And then, so let's get some numbers. How many people in the greater central Pennsylvania area do you think the food bank feeds on like a daily and weekly basis?
We actually track that type of data. So over 350,000 people came to our network last year, and some of them multiple times, many times. And here in the Harrisburg, the greater Harrisburg region, it's about 38,000 that we serve through our partners here. So a substantial number here, but probably 10 times that in our service territory of 27 counties.
One of the things we can see off in the distance here are the barrels. I think people will recognize them from donations. What percentage of the food comes from donations from individuals versus from, say, large food companies or grocery stores?
That's a great question. Food drives is really just a few percent in terms of our total amount of food. Very welcome, very good food. What we love there in particular is the engagement as well, getting people involved in the mission. But most of the food in here, about 3/4, is donated by large companies, large food companies, grocers, and also farms. We go directly to large farms now. And that's about 3/4 of the food. The remainder, setting aside the food drives, is a split between us buying staple foods that we need. And that could include produce, particularly in the off-season. And then we also participate with USDA and Department of Agriculture food programs, as much as we can get.
How do you have this warehouse organized?
Very organized, first of all. This area here is where our member agencies can pick up from 2 docks. And when they come to pick up their large order, which will generally be in pallets, and our warehouse folks are loading it, they can also add on to their order from this is food drive food and grocery store reclamation that's been sorted by volunteers in a nice organized manner. It looks like a small market. Yeah. People in need generally do not come here. We're in an industrial park. But we do get emergency visits on a regular basis, and we will pack them boxes of food here to get by. But this is really for our member agencies to come in here and top off their order. This is the first of 3 large industrial coolers, because we handle a lot of refrigerated food, including produce. We are very proud of the variety that we can get, and if you look, we try to get as much variety as we can for our member agencies for our clients, so they can learn how to eat healthy and cook healthy and improve their health. This is actually senior boxes. Okay. We call it Elder Share. This happens to be an acronym for the federal program. Each box has about 31 or 32 pounds of very good food provided to us by the USDA. And we have volunteers that pack each box exactly the same. And we have about 5,500 seniors that receive these healthy boxes each month with this USDA food.
Oh, that's wonderful. So give me an example of a few things that may be in one of those boxes.
It's low salt, low sugar type products. So it'll be 100% juice would be included, but with very low sugar. Canned vegetables, canned meats. There might be powdered milk in here. In the coolers, there will also be a block of refrigerated cheese that they will receive. Healthy grains, just a great box of food, actually. Cereal, great box. And in our second cooler here, you get an idea of some of the larger quantities of produce. This is coming generally from farms and orchards and possibly distribution centers from our grocery store friends. So Giant, Wise, Wegmans, Walmart, and those guys. Right here, you might recognize the name of Rice Orchards. Yes. Very big donor to us, Rice Orchards, apples. Tremendous, and these are actually beautiful apples. They're already cased for us. Up above,
it's apple season.
It is apple season, so we're going to get more and more quantities of apples. Up above, you see potatoes in bulk, and we may have volunteers actually break those into smaller quantities and bag them for folks.
Yep.
Over here, we have literally right off the farm
broccoli.
Everybody's favorite.
It is actually my favorite. So
I like it.
The best vegetable, yeah.
And our volunteers will probably pull off some of the this part here, which you don't eat, to get to it.
Yeah.
But that's right off of the farm.
That shows it's fresh from the farm, hasn't been pre-packaged.
We have some beautiful peppers and riper ones, which are just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we have 2 farms that I'd like to mention by name. We have Lady Moon Farms in the Chambersburg area, and then a charitable farm called First Fruits Farm in Northern Maryland, which is a Christian organization, actually donates over 500,000 pounds of produce a year to us.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
Amounts.
Yeah.
Beautiful Pennsylvania produce. All of this, peppers, squash, zucchini, cucumbers, all that good stuff.
I see some corn behind us. Okay. Yeah.
This has been bagged by volunteers.
I see.
So a lot of what we do with produce is bagging it so that it's family size.
Right.
So this is great corn that probably came from one of our more local farms, either here in Dauphin County or in Lancaster County. And I don't have any names on it right now, but we have a number of farms that donate corn.
That's right. Folks. And if you are a farmer out there, how do you establish a relationship with the food bank?
If you have large quantities as a farmer that you can donate in like pallet size donations, just reach out to the food bank. We have a website, centralpafoodbank.org. Our main phone number is listed there, and we'll hook you right up with our food sourcing folks. And we actually come to the farm to get it. So as long as it can be picked and ready, we'll come to the farm to get it. In addition to some additional produce, exciting stuff going on here is fresh milk and fresh eggs. We do major amounts. 3 years ago, actually with the help of Harrisburg Dairies and Pennsylvania's dairy industry and the Department of Agriculture, we actually became a certified milk dealer. We don't sell milk to people, but we can now buy milk directly from processors at a very low cost, state minimum pricing, because we're a dealer and we're inspected. and then we raise money from the public to pay for that milk. And we ask for a small cost share from our partners as well. And because of that, we can now distribute each and every day 1,600 quarts of milk every day through this facility in Williamsport, up from about 0 3 years ago. So we're one of the unusual food banks in the country that actually does fresh milk. And we have several hundred of our partners now that can receive fresh milk and give it to their clients.
So that speaks to the larger issue that there's some items that a food bank needs which it really does need to buy. It can't just rely on donations. Milk is one, I'm learning. And if people want to donate to the food bank, how can they do that?
For something like this, donated milk really doesn't work well.
No, I mean donate financially in order to purchase.
That's exactly right. So we have something called Fill a Glass with Hope. We've been at the farm show, the Pennsylvania Farm Show, 2 years in a row. That's our tagline, Fill a Glass with Hope. So actually someone can just write a check for whatever they're comfortable with, write Fill a Glass with Hope in the memo, send it in, and we'll put it towards this program.
That's an incredible resource.
This year we were selected by the Department of Agriculture to run something called the Pennsylvania Agricultural Surplus System, which is a new state program. And we have been selected as the statewide contractor. And the purpose of that program, we call it PASS, that's the acronym, is to link farm product that does not have a market with people in need. So these eggs are part of a large series of donation of eggs that probably would not have been consumed by people. They probably would have been composted. During the summertime, egg production continues, but the demand is lower, schools are out. And also there are supply disruptions that happen in the food industries. Unfortunately for the egg producers, there was supply disruption this year. But because of that program, the egg producer here, which is Pete and Jerry's, and they're based nearby here in Franklin County, actually had production excess of about 50,000 dozen of eggs over a series of weeks. So because of us having statewide food bank contacts, we were able to commit to all 50,000 dozen and pay them only for packaging. So these are actually organic eggs, which in a grocery store are probably north of $4 a dozen. We have been able to pay anywhere from 15 to 50 cents a dozen for packaging and get these wonderful eggs and provide them to people in need.
Oh, that's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great story, and we're so proud to be the past contractor to be able to do this.
Yeah, but you got to have a facility like this.
And thankful to our egg producers to do that for us.
And somebody willing to do that. Absolutely. Great.
Absolutely. We're at the freezer. We have two of these big freezers here. I'm going to open it up. And if we look in there, it's about the size of a handball court. And that is primarily meats and vegetables and frozen fruits. And I'll talk a little bit about that when we close the doors and keep the cool air in. Sure. It's minus 10 in there.
It is.
So everything is hard frozen. So probably the most exciting story there is we have a 100% meat rescue program with Giant Foods, where the meat from their fresh meat case, if it's not purchased by sell-by date, they freeze it at their stores, backhaul it in refrigerated trucks, hard frozen, to their frozen center, which is in Camp Hill across the river. And once a week, they bring us a truckload of beautiful steaks and chicken and pork chops, everything you see in the store. Yeah. We get a truckload a week, every week of the year. Last year, over 600,000 pounds, probably $3 to $4 million worth of meat provided to people in need for free by Giant Foods. We have other grocery chains that we're working on with meat rescue and doing some pilots. And that's one area, although they compete all the time, when it comes to our work, they work together to try to share best practices. So we're looking forward to more grocers doing that, doing meat rescue like that.
What a great story, and I always wondered what happened to that. I was hoping it wasn't just disposed of.
Unfortunately, throughout the country and really the world, a lot of meat is actually wasted. It goes to landfills, but in this case, it's going to people's dinner tables, which is what we want.
Excellent.
And we also do a lot of frozen vegetables and frozen fruits. And those are very healthy foods. So in our food bank, we've been increasing each year how much fresh produce, frozen meats, frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, to the point where it's about 40% of our food distribution. Oh, wow. So last year we did about 48 million pounds of food came through here. And 40% of that is a lot of fresh and frozen, very, very healthy foods. And a lot of our dry goods are healthy as well, great juices and other products, canned vegetables and so forth. So my message is food banking isn't what it used to be.
No, you've exceeded every expectation I had already, and it's incredible that much of what you do is, fresh and frozen, and not the traditional, just a simple canned item.
Yeah, and we still want all of those dry goods. So when folks run a food drive for us, we ask them to bring us the peanut butter, bring us the canned tuna, the canned vegetables. That's all great food because we're going to pair it up with what we have.
Especially paired up with the fresh,
the coolers and the fresh milk. We'll do that part, but bring us the non-perishables.
So we're right here at the loading docks, and what do we have here?
What we have here is this product right here, a huge amount. If you look at these pink labels up here, we see Mountain Lion Backpack. That's a huge backpack program in the Altoona region, right? All of this product is going to go into children's backpacks, and the backpacks are actually right here. They are different colors. Pretty nondescript but sturdy, so that children, to avoid the stigma, they look like any other backpack. And so we buy, as you can imagine, a lot of backpacks, provide them to our member agencies. And what's going to happen is volunteers at Mountain Lion Backpack Program, which is one of dozens of backpack programs that we have, they have volunteers that are going to take these backpacks, fill it with this wonderful food, and I believe they serve over 1,000 children in a month. Out there. So the whole Altoona School District. Amazing program, actually.
That's really incredible. Backpacks with a purpose,
exactly,
for sure.
Right. We do a lot of children's programs beyond backpacks. We also do after-school meals we call kids cafes. We do something now called school pantry programs where the food is not just for the child, it's actually for the whole family. And there's a recipe in there and the fixings for a weekend of meals. So that's called a school pantry. That's a growing area that we're trying to work with our backpack programs to expand to that level because that's good for the whole family and it has a lot of benefit. And then we also work with school districts, helping them do better with school breakfast. As you know, our schools have great school lunch, but some schools do not do school breakfast or don't do it as well as they probably could. So we have expertise on staff to help them work that out to the benefit of the kids and make sure they get their federal reimbursement, get it all paid for. So a lot of work with schools. The green machine is our produce conveyor system. So the bins of produce are lifted up by the end machine, and they're really heavy. They weigh anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. So human beings are not going to lift them. So it'll lift up the produce and then it'll run down the conveyor. It's not running right now, but whether it's apples or cucumbers, whatever it might be, will come down this conveyor and we'll have volunteers will stand at stations and they will be putting the produce into bags. Right. And then those bags are put on a tote and sent to our partners so they can provide it to people in need. We've found out that most of the time this is about 5 times faster than just setting up tables with pallets. This is our nutrition kitchen, and we're not cooking production meals in here per se. We're teaching. We're working with our member agencies. Clients are invited. Other programs that we serve. This is all about healthy cooking, healthy eating, And also learning. We receive a lot of great produce and fruits, and it's sometimes not very familiar to people. I think we all kind of know what potatoes are and apples and so forth, but we receive a lot of great exotic fruits and vegetables from our grocery friends. So we provide recipes, cooking instructions, and how to turn that into great meals. So that's what this room is all about. It's all about learning. It's all about nutrition. And it has become really the heart of our mission. Right now, we do not have a cooking class going on, but each day we do. And last year, in our fiscal year 2016, we had over 6,000 hours of instruction in this room. Over 1,000 people received training of some type.
That's a very large number. So it's not just like cooks at food pantries. It's also families that have been able to sign up for the program.
Right.
How do you avail yourself of this?
We make it available through our website. So our member agencies, when they go to order their food, they can actually also order instruction. So they can come here, or we record the content and we provide that online. So they can view the content, take an exam, and then get a certificate for it. And then we also have a large number of our partners actually cook meals. So if you think of Downtown Daily Bread in Harrisburg, they're cooking for people. State law requires them to have serve-safe training. We actually have trainers on staff. Okay. We have actually 5 different people that can train ServSafe. So we've trained hundreds of cooks for our congregate feeding programs. And we're proud to do that for free. The only charge we have is the cost of the book that we have to pay for.
Let's end with the question of where do you see things going in the next 5-10 years? How do you think we can further eradicate hunger?
Well, we in 2015 adopted a bold goal strategic plan. We know there's still gaps, as there are throughout the United States. We believe, based on our numbers last year, that we were serving under half of the true number of people that really needed help. Here in the Harrisburg area, we were stronger than that because we've been here the longest, have the biggest network.
Good partners.
Yeah, good partners. But in rural areas, a lot of work to do. So our bold goal is to close the meal gap in 27 counties by 2025. And to close it with healthy food. So we're about 60% of the way there, so we've got a lot of work to do. Part of that is expanding our Williamsport facility to a healthy food hub it'll look like this. It does in Harrisburg, with a teaching kitchen and a volunteer center and all of those elements. And that's going to help us in our rural areas be as effective as we are in the Harrisburg region.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the tour.
Thank you, Mayor.
Keep up the good work, and I think we've raised awareness for this important month of September.
And thank you to the city as a great partner of ours. We appreciate that.
And thank you at home for watching Ward in the Burg on the road today. A new feature. We thought it would be fun to actually go behind the scenes and take a look on the road at what some of our best organizations in the region are doing to help the community.